And Abe here from DisKingdom.com with a new episode of the DisKingdom podcast. In this episode, we are going to be discussing the Season of the Force, which is coming to Disneyland and Walt Disney World. Loads of new details have been announced this week for all the new stuff coming to Disneyland, including Hyperspace Mountain, which is a retheming of Space Mountain. The new the Jedi Training Academy is being given like a Rebels overhaul. There's going to be troopers walking down the street. There is also going to be a new scene added to Star Tours featuring The Force Awakens. And also the Star Wars launch bay is also opening up, which is going to have loads of special events where you can go and see special bits and pieces. You're going to be able to meet Chewie. You're going to be able to meet Darth Vader. And all kinds of bits and pieces. There's going to be a cantina, a game center, a gallery full of replicas, all kinds of stuff. So, Abe, what did you think of all of this news?
Well, they had media previews, and actually they are currently open right now at Disneyland just as guest previews, even though they're not officially open. Yeah. I think the official day is the 19th, but they're still open right now. People are actually trying them out. Hyperspace Mountain looks cool. It's kind of a borrowed concept from Ghost Galaxy already, but this time they added Star Wars music and Star Wars theming throughout the whole thing, and you have TIE fighters and X-Wings flying by. It's kind of cool, getting to see certain images of that. Space Mountain fits perfectly because you're in space, and just to see TIE fighters and X-Wings fly by kind of looks cool. I do like the fact that they're adding a new scene to Star Tours. They gave us a preview already on the Disney Parks blog, and it looks interesting. Kind of like the trailer. So that's kind of cool. I still don't understand, or not 100% sure. Is Star Tours staying in Tomorrowland? Is it moving to the new Star Wars land? We don't know. If it doesn't, it's weird. It makes no sense to me. But anyways, regardless of the fact, because this is just a little preview, like a little launch bay thing, it works. It fits fine. The Innovations building is being used for all the meet and greet with Chewbacca and all that. So that's kind of in the game center, and that's cool because that building was almost vacant now because the House of the Future was all current items, and it was boring and lame, and so I'm glad they're repurposing it and having it to good use, putting it to good use. And then obviously the Jedi Training Academy was always cool, just to see kids duke it out with Darth Vader, and now we get to see Kylo Ren show up, and then some rebels as well. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean, I love the idea of what they're doing here. Some of it it feels that like what we had with Frozen, where they are just sort of doing a very quick theme over the top of certain areas, like doing. There was a cool video of like the shock trooper and stuff all walking down Main Street, and it's kind of thing of. It makes sense, we're going to have a lot of hype over Star Wars while the movie's out. It's a good little idea of getting lots of people to come into Disneyland, especially locals, to go back into the parks, experience all the new things. I mean, Star Tours is everyone is going to experience the same Force Awakens thing for a month. They are literally, you're not getting the normal random side of it. Everyone is getting the new bit that's there for this month, which I think is a really good idea, because if you, I must admit, next time you go, it's like, oh, I want to see that. But everyone that's going specifically in that first month are always going to see that new scene, which is what everyone wants to see. That's the bit that everyone wants to do. I'm kind of excited at the fact that next year the Paris Star Tours is being shut down and being replaced with the new one that does got all the different scenes and stuff. So that's kind of quite cool. And the Japanese one is reopening soon with all the new scenes. So that'll be the last sweep through to get everybody onto the same page.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'd be interested to see what Shanghai has in store when it opens up. See what they're going to do with Star Wars, since it's now a prominent property. So
it's kind of cool as well. I think I know there's a lot of people talking like Walt Disney World. I mean, they're getting Launch Bay, they're getting the new scene as well for Star Tours. They're not getting as much as Disneyland, and I don't know if that's because of space, or I always think sometimes Disneyland get a lot more like temporary stuff because they're trying to get locals to come back in. Whereas Disney World have always got lots of streams of tourists coming in anyway, so they're less needing to put as many new things in short term.
Stop complaining, Disney World. You have 4 theme parks. Jeez. Unbelievable.
But also, I think having the launch bay and stuff makes sense to have all that new area. It'd be kind of cool to have them re-themed Space Mountain, and also because I know they did the same thing with the Haunted Mansion with Nightmare Before Christmas. It's kind of be interesting to do that. Whereas Walt Disney World never do anything like that. And once the distractions up, they kind of leave it alone. Whereas Disneyland, they rejig it, get you guys to go back in there.
Well, why Disney World doesn't do the Nightmare Before Christmas at their Haunted Mansion is beyond me. I don't understand why. But as far as Space Mountain goes, I think it has to do with their version because their Space Mountain is basically like our Matterhorn.
Yeah.
They have 2 tracks. They individually go in certain ways. And I don't think they have enough stuff in between to put extra projectors and whatnot. Yeah. Like we just redid our Space Mountain in 2005 for the 50th anniversary. And when they did that, they installed these lights and projectors and everything because they were planning to do a rock and roller coaster version of Space Mountain, which ended up not working. They had like Aerosmith themed, and it was like for for the summer. It just didn't work out. So they repurposed that, and that's how we have Ghost Galaxy in October. And obviously, it makes sense why they can use it for Star Wars. So
Space Mountain.
I agree with you.
Yeah, I mean, Space Mountain in Paris is slightly different because it's more of a proper full-on roller coaster where you got things over the top of you and you're whizzing around. It's a little bit easier. But I think in general, I think it's just a cool idea, and it's a good way of kind of tiding a lot of Star Wars content over while they start work on the new lands, because they're going to be a few years away, so they're kind of creeping in Star Wars. I think Tomorrowland needs something new and exciting because there's never really a huge amount of future going on there, and I like the idea that the kind of Star Wars stuff coming in, and it's all in one area. It's not like Frozen where they're sort of shoehorning it into every little part of the park.
No, yeah, that's true. I mean, and it's great that it's a temporary location for, because Star Wars, the hype starts, in less than a month. And, I mean, it started a while ago, but I mean, like the intensity of Star Wars is going to start in less than a month. And, you want to have that in your parks. You want to have that existing and living and flowing through the park. And just like you were talking about, Frozen was basically, pooping money. So, Star Wars is going to be doing the same thing. They need to do that all over the whole park, and I don't know. I just think it's smart for them to do that with parks, with areas in the park that are kind of dead and not being used. Like even in Disneyland, the old Captain EO theater, it's going to be used to replay certain scenes from movies and stuff. Like and not to mention give you some previews of Force Awakens. So it's like you gotta. If you have vacant areas, why not use it to promote your next, your big baby? You know what I mean? So
that's cool. I mean, I think in general, I think everything to do with sort of Star Wars is going to be a big money maker for them.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
All right. Okay. Well, thank you very much for joining us on this week's episode. Be sure to hit out our Patreons, Magic. Bandcollectors.com and sortapps.com, and big shout out to our other patrons as well. You can find us on Twitter, you can find us on Facebook and all the rest of the other different social medias. Remember to hit that subscribe button, and remember to check us out at DisKingdom.com. Cheers,
Laters.
Laters.